12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, an emergency declaration would make wearing a mask mandatory. It's now in effect.
Lawmakers say they are in the final stages of a deal that could mean hundreds of billions of dollars for small businesses. I'm Alex Pache in Washington. I'll have details coming up.
And looking outside with live cam, it's cool out there this morning after a beautiful warm day yesterday. Mike's standing by with your forecast.
And good morning. It is Monday. It is April 20th. And you know what else today is?
What?
Today is River Parade Rebroadcast Day.
That's right, because we are in the full swings of Fiesta. Well, supposed to be anyway, but that will happen in November. We're rerunning all of the parades all week long. So you and Myra
Arthur
broadcasted last year, so they're going to rebroadcast it tonight at
7 o'clock. So, and it doesn't matter what the weather is because you'll be inside watching. So it'd be
I was thinking about
regardless.
that because this would have been a really, really hot Fiesta.
Yeah.
Most of the week. So up in the 90s, we were 94 yesterday.
But cool this morning.
Yeah, we've lost 40 degrees between the high yesterday and the low this morning thus far. We're going to heat up again today. Tomorrow's not going to be quite as hot. And then we do have some rain chances midweek. Another hot finish to the week. So the weekend's looking pretty good.
All right, well, we like that.
All right, well, here's some of the details as of right now. We do have mostly clear skies, a couple of high clouds out there. And yeah, 54 degrees. Normal low is in the upper 50s, so we are actually a little bit on the cool side. 47 in Kerrville, same thing in Tarpley, 46 up the road toward Bernie Stage. And as far as, oh, come on, it's a Monday. Come on, clicker. Do something for me here. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to make it up into the low 90s later on today, and we are going to have plenty of sunshine around here. And then we do have that chance for a couple of showers, maybe even a thunderstorm or two. There we go, and mold is on the moderate side. Thank you, Officer Trujillo. I appreciate that. We'll take a look ahead. Going to work on this thing and take a look ahead in the next couple of days coming up in just a few minutes. Time saver traffic right now. The man who always comes to the rescue, be it computer or whatever the case may be. What's up, Marcus?
Well, let's hope mine works since your computer and my computer are kind of closely tied together. Right now, as we take a look at the roadways, we're going to switch over to TransGuide. Okay, that button worked. Now let's switch over to these buttons. 37 at Houston. So far, travel north and southbound, no problems whatsoever. Not too many folks out this morning. Actually, it looks like, I don't know about the rest of you, but to me, it seemed like we had fewer people out this morning than we did last Monday, and that's a good sign. 35, 37, travel both directions. Running smoothly with no problems here. 281 at 410 up there by the airport. You can see up on the connector ramps and down below. So far, no issues. David and Leslie.
Thank you, Officer Trujillo. Starting today, all Bexar County residents will be required to wear a mask or face covering in public areas.
Mayor Ron Nierenberg and County Judge Nelson Wolff announced the change last week. The mandate does not apply to anyone under 10. You also don't have to wear one when exercising outside, driving in a car, or while in a building that requires security like a bank. You are urged to not use medical masks, but instead any other fabric to cover up. Violators can face a $1,000 fine.
Turning now to the latest numbers here in Bexar County, Mayor Ron Nierenberg says we've crossed a new threshold with 1,015 cases of COVID-19. That's a big leap from the last report and includes 5 new cases at the county jail. We've also had another death locally. A man in his 70s, underlying health conditions was part of the problem he had. That brings the total death in Bexar County to 39 now, but our other jump, the number recovers, it's close to 300 now.
Well, meanwhile, local leaders here in San Antonio are saying testing isn't up to par in our city and our county. They say it's because of a continued lack of response from the federal government. Both Mayor Ron Nierenberg and County Judge Nelson Wolff feel that we are behind the curve when it comes to understanding how COVID-19 is affecting the community. Judge Wolff says from the beginning, testing was plagued by issues largely affecting accuracy.
First of all, the testing wasn't set up right to do the swab and testing for the people that have issues. And then the lab took so long to come back. I think we were, a month or so
we had
back.
People waiting 9-10 days.
It was messed up on both sides.
Both leaders hope the federal government becomes more proactive. Officials from Metro Health add that there are enough tests to use for those who are actually experiencing symptoms of COVID-19. So if you do think you're symptomatic, do get tested.
Lawmakers signaling that a new deal on an emergency funding plan may be just days away.
It would bring hundreds of billions of dollars in relief to small businesses and to hospitals. ABC's Alex Pache has more from Washington.
This morning, lawmakers signaling they're closing in on a deal for the next round of economic relief.
And I'm very hopeful we could come to an agreement tonight or early tomorrow morning.
I think we're getting close to a deal.
This bipartisanship deal would include roughly $300 billion in funding for small business loans, $75 billion for hospitals, and billions more for disaster loans and COVID-19 testing. But some small businesses are running out of time. The government's Paycheck Protection Program dried up days ago. Also new, President Trump now invoking the Defense Production Act, directing a company to increase production of swabs, a key component for coronavirus testing, and testing something critical for his reopening guidelines.
This is what it's about, right?
Health officials and governors say widespread testing has been hampered by a lack of supplies. The president claims testing nationwide has now reached the level needed for a partial reopening, tweeting, "Just like I was right on ventilators, our country is now the king of ventilators. I am right on testing. Governors must be able to step up and get the job done. We will be with you all the way." Officials in 12 states tell ABC News they're confident they can begin reopening in some form by May 1st. The rest say that's either too soon or they wouldn't give a target date. And many governors are pushing back against the president's claim about testing capacity.
That's just delusional to be making statements like that.
To try to push this off to say that the governors have plenty of testing and they should just get to work on testing, somehow we aren't doing our job, is just absolutely false. Every governor in America has been pushing and fighting and clawing to get more tests.
Over the weekend, Vice President Pence announced that the country has conducted about 4 million tests so far, with about 150,000 more tests each day. But a new report from Harvard says we need to be conducting 20 million daily tests in order to reopen the economy. Alex Prochet, ABC News, Washington.
Other news this morning, the latest on a fire that happened late last night on the city's north side. It happened on Ferguson Road and Myrtle Street around 9:30. The San Antonio Fire Department says 2 people and their dogs were able to get out safely. Firefighters say the fire started in a bedroom and appeared to be electrical. No injuries were reported, and the home is not considered to be a total loss. SAFD says the damage is estimated at about $20,000.
San Antonio police are confirming a missing woman has been found dead in her home. SAPD says she is identified as 56-year-old Roxanne Rodriguez Chavez. The death is under investigation, and the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office will determine the cause of death. Police were concerned and had been looking for her earlier, saying she was considered at risk due to a medical condition.
It's 4:37 and 54 degrees.
Still ahead, Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg is unveiling his company's newest way to help fight the pandemic.
And also coming up next, the latest on a shooting in Nova Scotia that left several people dead, including a police officer.
And taking a look outside with live cam. If you have to leave early, you're going to need a jacket. It's a little bit cool out there this morning, but plenty of sunshine in the forecast for this afternoon.
And welcome back. It's 20 minutes away from 5 o'clock. In your morning headlines, a man disguised as a police officer went on a shooting rampage in the Canadian province of Nova Scotia Sunday. He killed 16 people. It's the deadliest attack in the country in 30 years. Officials say the suspected shooter is also dead. A police officer was among those killed. Several bodies were found inside and outside one home in the small rural town about 60 miles north of Halifax. Bodies also found at other locations. Authorities believe the shooter may have targeted his first victims, but then began attacking randomly. Overnight, police began advising residents of the town to lock their doors and stay in their basements. Several homes in the area were set on fire as well.
Police in North Texas say a passenger opened fire on a Dallas area public bus this weekend before hijacking it with 2 people aboard and then leading officers on a chase. The suspect was eventually killed in a shootout. It also wounded 3 officers Sunday. Police say the suspect took the driver hostage and opened fire as officers tried to stop the bus along the President George Bush Turnpike. Police say that the man continued shooting after exiting the bus, and police returned fire, killing him. The wounded officer's injuries are not considered life-threatening.
Getting from point A to point B, getting it a little easier on your wallet. Gas prices keep dropping, thanks in large part to the COVID-19 pandemic. AAA reports the average price for a gallon of gas, self-serve, is $1.82. That's down about 5 cents from last week and just over $1 less than it was this time last year. In some states, prices at the pump are under $1 per gallon. Analysts say the cost of crude hadn't been this low since 2002, and they predict the cost of gas will keep dropping.
I saw it on my way in at HEB. It was $1.33.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
It's really good.
Yeah, but nobody's going anywhere, so.
I know. You fill up and doesn't cost anything, and it lasts forever.
442, 54 degrees.
Still ahead, the Netflix show Tiger King continues to gain massive ratings. David, have you started it yet?
Not yet. Holding out.
All right. We'll tell you just how many hours people have spent watching that popular docuseries.
Also coming up next, how Facebook is getting involved in reducing the spread of false information related to the pandemic.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an ABC News exclusive, George Stephanopoulos one-on-one with Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg.
So how do you deal with the fact that Facebook is now being used to organize a lot of these protests to defy social distancing and defy the social distancing guidelines in states? Does somebody trying to organize something like that, does that qualify as harmful information because it's saying defy social distancing?
We do classify that as harmful misinformation, and we take that down. At the same time, it's important that people can debate policies, can basically give their opinions on different things. So there's a line on this, but
we'll have much more of this ABC News exclusive coming up at 7 a.m. Plus a live interview with Dr. Anthony Fauci. With your GMA First Look, I'm Monaco Sarabdi, ABC News, New York.
For the first time in its history, the world-famous San Diego Comic-Con has been canceled.
As Kasia, Gregorski reports from San Diego, the decision is having a huge financial impact.
It won't be the same July without him.
From the exhibits to the panels to the tens of thousands of people expected to pass through and bring business to our city and region, losing Comic-Con 2020 means a big financial loss as well. Convention Center staff have been keeping track of event cancellations and the impacts they'll have, releasing these figures Friday. Total regional impact will be a loss of about $166 million, a loss of just over $3 million in taxes generated, and total spending by those attending was estimated at nearly $100 million. The amount of contracted hotel rooms no longer needed was more than 60,000. The cancellation will, of course, cause Comic-Con itself to take a big hit, with the event earning about $20 million last year.
Effectively, we have no income coming in this year. That's a dire situation. We'll make the best of it. The money that we do have is enough that should hold us over, but without replenishing that, it's going to be a challenge.
Earlier in the week, Mayor Faulkner announced a budget proposal for the next fiscal year beginning in July. It involved a number of cuts in spending and positions to make up for expected losses, but Comic-Con being canceled had yet to be factored in.
I will be updating all of those figures in our May revise that is coming in about 3 weeks from now. So it is significant.
Yeah, it's hurting San Diego, but you look down on the Riverwalk and there's nobody down there. San Antonio's taking a serious hit on just tourism as well.
And that's a big thing for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're supposed to be in Fiesta this week.
Yeah, that's another thing.
To believe. I'm ready for this to be over.
And the roads are not exactly crowded either.
Except for with construction.
Well, just for you.
Well, it was a totally different story yesterday. I was just telling Mike that yesterday we got out of the house just took a little drive just to get out of the house, and you'd be surprised how many parking lots were jam-packed. Nobody at parks, but people at shopping centers, stores, just all kinds of traffic out there that I didn't expect. Right now, as we take a look at the roadways, so far, no accidents out there. I-10, 604, still looking pretty good. No problems here. I-10 and Frio, the inbound, outbound lanes still running smoothly with no problems here. I-10 and Crossroads, you can see travel in both directions running smoothly. There's I-10 at the Y. We had some restriping ongoing there yesterday, but today, not too bad. You can see just a handful of vehicles out and about right now, but it's still very, very early, and you know how fast things can change.
That's the truth.
Yep.
Bam, just like that.
Well, look at Saturday into Sunday. Saturday was in the low 60s. Yesterday was in the mid 90s.
Low 60s, cloudy and drizzly.
Yeah.
A lot of the day. And then yesterday was like, bam. Although the fog was really thick.
Right. We had the fog in the morning and mist and drizzle and blink of an eye. I was like, wow, all of a sudden you cleared out like that. So and then we've got some relatively dry air in place right now. And so that's what allowed temperatures to skyrocket yesterday and then drop down so much. It was a beautiful, beautiful afternoon yesterday to sit outside. And today's going to be pretty nice as well. It is going to be another hot one, though. We're going to make it back up into the 90s. We've got a lot of mostly clear skies as of right now. And 54 out there at the airport, 50 Ball Verde, 45 in Comfort. So temperatures are on the cool side of normal. And with the dry air in place, in theory, we could drop down to 40. We're not going to, but the air is dry enough to allow those temperatures to drop down. We've got some light wind, again, mostly clear skies, and so that's what's allowing these temperatures to drop down. As far as the wind flow, the humidity, it's going to try to get a little bit more moisture coming on in here. Wind's going to be shifting around to the south, but it's really not going to do that today. Now, tomorrow it's a different situation. So comfortable today, but more humidity tomorrow, more clouds tomorrow. Call it partly cloudy skies, and that's going to hold temperatures down just a little bit because dry air heats up a lot more easily than moist air does. So instead of low 90s, we're going to be in the upper 80s, still on the hot side of normal. And then the humidity really comes back in here on Wednesday, and that's going to feed some showers, but perhaps a couple of stronger thunderstorms. There's the marginal risk for that. I'm going to show you that in just a moment. But today, we've got really nothing but sunshine out there, maybe one or two clouds kind of hanging around. Tomorrow, we'll start off with more clouds and have some sunshine in the afternoon. Then you go into Wednesday, and that's when, like I said, the moisture really starts to come back in here. We've got some showers around here in the morning, and then in the afternoon, that risk for some thunderstorms. So the marginal risk basically in the northeastern half of our viewing area. And then you go over toward Gonzales, not quite New Braunfels, but close to San Marcos, and that gets up to a slight risk for a strong to severe storm, and that's going to be Wednesday afternoon. Then we'll clear out after that, stay hot for Thursday and Friday, get a little bit of a front to shave temperatures off for the weekend. So 84 degrees today at noon, mostly sunny skies. Good looking day, but it is going to be on the hot side. We're going to heat up very quickly, especially this morning. 92 this afternoon, which is well above normal. 87 tomorrow, a few more clouds hanging around here. Couple of stronger storms or potentially severe storms, basically northeast from San Antonio up to the northeast on Wednesday. That'll keep temperatures down back to the 90s for Thursday, Friday, and then 80 over the weekend. A little bit of a front moving on through here, so
you're all over the place with this thing.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. So.
That's good. It keeps you on your toes.
That's true.
So thank you, Mike.
On my toes.
Twinkle Toes Osterhage.
452 and 54 degrees.
Coming up next, the Tiger King phenomenon.
What?
I can't say phenomenon. Well, it continues, everybody. More on the show and how it's setting new ratings records on Netflix.
Phenomenal Worcestershire.
It's 4:55. The Netflix show Tiger King continues to gain in popularity.
For the first time, we are seeing just how many people have watched it, and David's not one of them.
Nope.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
Citizen says Saturday's 8-hour One World Together at Home live concert event raised just shy of $128 million to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. All of the performances were heartfelt, but the Rolling Stones among the most buzzed about. Same for Lady Gaga's solo performance of Smile.
Smile, even though it's aching. It's been a long.
And Lizzo's take on the Sam Cooke classic, A Change Is Gonna Come. More than 70 artists in all performed. You can still donate online.
It's not every day that a zookeeper went to prison for murder for hire.
Tiger King scored over 5.3 billion minutes of streaming through the end of March. That's more than any other streaming content tracked by Nielsen, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Ozark is a distant second, but even so, it's earned a serious bump in viewers during the ongoing coronavirus lockdown. 27 years ago today, country superstar Shania Twain released her self-titled debut album. And Oscar winner Jessica Lange is 71 Monday. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
I wish I could sing. God did not bless me with that talent.
But you know what? It's fun to hear all these artists, these ones who can really sing, sing the a cappella and really get a feel for what their voice sounds like without the
Get an understanding
instruments.
of why they have what they have and why they are where they are.
Absolutely amazing.
Lady Gaga's amazing.
Who needs all those instruments when you get those voices?
Well, they add a little bit of,
But it's
to it.
It's fun to see them really show off their talent. And then the rest of us just kind of sit there and go, wow. Wish we could do more 57, 55 degrees.
True. Still ahead in your next half hour of Good Morning San Antonio. More on the changes, I should say, businesses are making now that most of their customers are stuck at home.
Plus, marriage in the age of coronavirus. More on how at least one state is allowing people to not over Zoom, a Zoom marriage.
A Zoom.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Our headlines this morning: wearing face masks for the coronavirus now mandatory in the city of San Antonio.
A closer look at how businesses are adapting to the new economy as they wait for the federal government to decide on a stimulus package.
And outside with live cam, wild weekend. We had all kinds of fun weather over the weekend, and the temperatures are going to be all over the place this week as well. Mike Oster's got your forecast coming up. Good morning. It is Monday. It is April 20th. Aren't we excited today?
We are always excited just to be here. As you said, you woke up. That's a start. Now you have to decide how to fill the day and how to fill the time and keep the kiddos happy and educated and all that. And now that school has officially been closed for the rest of the year, we're here with you. We got you back. And today, maybe you can do something outside. Just wear sunscreen.
Good idea, because it's going to be hot out there today. Like yesterday. Yesterday we did hit, if you didn't hear, 94 degrees, more than a 30-degree swing in the high temperature from Saturday's high, which was obviously on the cool side, yesterday being on the warm side of things. It's going to be another hot one today, but what's funny is we're starting off on the cool side of normal. We're at 55 right now. Normal high is the upper 50s, so we've actually lost 40 degrees from yesterday and then add almost another 40 to it later on today. I think we'll drop down a few more degrees because still have some fairly dry air out there as of right now. Temperatures again around the area are in the 40s and 50s. Everybody is a little bit below their respective normals. The humidity is still nice and comfortable, and that's what's allowing temperatures to drop down. Mold is on the moderate side. That's the only thing that's showing up on the allergen count as of right now. Mostly clear, pleasant temperatures, a bit on the coolish side. Maybe actually a light little jacket if you're heading out this morning. And then plenty of sunshine, hot again, going for 92 for a high temperature later on today. Tomorrow, a few more clouds around here, more humidity. That's going to hold temperatures down just compared to today, but still on the warm side of things. And then Wednesday, we do have some showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could be on the strong, potentially severe side, especially north and east. Then we finish up the week hot, up in the 90s again. Got another front moving on through here. It's going to be a little bit cooler, relatively speaking, this weekend. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. Here's Officer Marcus Trujillo. Anything going on yet, sir?
Well, right now, Mike, as we take a look at the roadways, still looking great out there. Everything green means everybody can reach their destination by traveling the speed limit. Just watch your speed once you head out there, because with all that open road, it's very easy for the speedometer to get away from you. Right now, there at 35 at Evans north and southbound lanes, running smoothly on that far northeast side. Moving to 35 and 410, just a little bit closer. You can see no problems there. We check one more camera there, 37 Jones here in the downtown vicinity. Looking great as far as your morning commute. David and Leslie.
Thank you, Marcus. New this morning, San Antonio police say a man is in critical condition after a shooting overnight. It happened in the 100 block of San Nicolas Street, just west of downtown. It was just before 2 a.m. SAPD says the victim has life-threatening gunshot wounds but is not cooperating. SAPD says a witness saw a gray car leaving the scene. Detectives are now investigating what led up to the shooting, and they're trying to find others involved.
Starting today, the mayor's emergency declaration, which makes wearing face masks mandatory, is officially in effect.
Meanwhile, another reminder to Bexar County residents, early voting has been postponed due to the pandemic.
It was supposed to start today until April 28th, but it's now been pushed back to enforce social distancing. The May election in Bexar County will not be held as planned on the 2nd. The election will be held on November 3rd as the general election. And across Texas, we're inching closer to 19,000 confirmed cases, and the state's death toll right now is at 477, with well over 14,000 in the hospital. We also want to point out that the estimated number of patients recovered is growing around the state as well. That number stands at more than 5,300 right now.
As for some other Texas counties, Brazos County recently added new cases, bringing their total to 170. 16 people have also died there. Matagorda County health officials announced 3 more cases. They have 54 confirmed, and 4 more cases were confirmed in Guadalupe County. That brings their total to 57 with 33 recoveries. We have an interactive map on our website where you can see cases by each Texas county.
President Trump and Congress could reach a deal today on how to get billions of dollars in loans flowing again.
That comes as social distancing takes its toll on businesses. ABC's Andrea Fujii has details.
I'm worried about my people.
America's businesses are taking a big hit, many about to close for good.
The money's out and I've got to shutter my business.
The government's rescue loan fund, the Paycheck Protection Program, maxed out days ago, but help could be coming. The Trump administration asking Congress to approve an additional $250 billion. This bipartisan deal would include funding for small business loans, plus billions more for hospitals, disaster loans, and COVID-19 testing. The latest report shows 5.2 million Americans filed for unemployment for the first time just last week. That brings the total to more than 20 million people who've applied for unemployment amid the pandemic.
Some economists that I've been speaking with say that our national unemployment could go as high as 13% by July.
And the downturn has hit all sectors of the economy. High-end retailer Neiman Marcus preparing to file for bankruptcy, while Macy's, JCPenney, and Nordstrom are scrambling to avoid the same fate. But Walmart looking to hire 50,000 more employees on top of the 150,000 they just hired. And other stores are adapting to the crisis. Some Whole Foods in New York City and Baltimore are now open for only online orders to speed up grocery deliveries and prevent shoppers from packing into the aisles. One industry group claims 85% of grocery store customers are not practicing social distancing in the stores.
You know, this is supposed to be a huge week. Of course, the city may have delayed Fiesta until November, but we think everybody needs a little fiesta in their lives right about now. So, as a way to give people a little coronavirus break, we're going to rebroadcast last year's Fiesta parades on the days they would have happened this year.
Cavaliers River Parade airs tonight. David and Myra are hosting it at 7 to 9 o'clock. Battle of Flowers Parade, which of course me, Mark, and Mike will be part of, will re-air Friday, April 24th, 2 to 5 p.m. SA Live will actually be broadcasting a pre-show party from 1 to 2. And we have a list of other parade times right now on KSAT.com.
During the airing of the parades, KSAT 12 will highlight Fiesta charities and collect money for all of them through the Fiesta Commission's website. It's a way to celebrate Fiesta and help all those charities who typically provide great food and entertainment for all of San Antonio. So it all gets started tonight. It's going to be a great week. Already seen pictures from people posted on Facebook how they've got their yards decorated and their houses decorated. People are not letting this coronavirus stop their Fiesta fun.
No, and you can send your pictures, by the way, of all that stuff and you're partying and watching the parades and decorations to our KSAT Connect app, and we would love to show them.
508, 55 degrees.
Still ahead, at least one state has issued orders allowing people to obtain a marriage license over Zoom.
Plus, a beer company is offering a free boozy. What?
Free booze. Not a boozy. Just free booze.
Set up
if
for
a couple's
me.
wedding is disrupted by the pandemic, we'll tell you how you can take advantage of that offer coming up. And like him giving us a look outside, it's a beautiful start to your Monday morning, so happy to have you with us. Welcome back, everybody. It's 12 minutes after 5. In your morning consumer headlines, Wells Fargo is facing a lawsuit. A company based in California claims the bank performed unfair actions against some smaller organizations that sought financial relief from the Paycheck Protection Program. According to the lawsuit, Wells Fargo prioritized the companies that requested large loans, even though the government said the PPP applications would be a first-come, first-served basis. According to the lawsuit, the move would result in Wells Fargo getting more money in processing fees.
You may soon be able to have Google in your wallet. The tech giant is working toward launching a debit card. Google joined up with Citibank and Stanford Federal Credit Union, and they're exploring, quote, smart checking accounts. The card will be linked to the Google Pay smartphone app and provide Google about the user's spending habits. No word yet on when the Google card will be released, but it's expected to come out before the end of the year.
Busch is offering a year's supply of free beer to couples who had to change their wedding plans due to the coronavirus. The company plans to select 250 winners using a social media sweepstakes. To enter, couples have to post a photo of themselves on Twitter. The hashtags for the drawings are Busch Wedding Gift and Sweepstakes. So it's hashtag Busch Wedding Gift and then hashtag sweepstakes. Busch says the couples should also share their revised plans for a wedding celebration. I think they get a year's worth of beer.
Wow.
That's a lot of beer. A lot of boozy.
That's a lot of booze. 5:13, 55 degrees.
Still ahead, a couple of big-name Hollywood actors are selling a special kind of wine to raise money for people affected by COVID-19.
And also coming up next, more on a new COVID-19 tracker launched by Instagram founders that shows how fast the virus is actually growing in each state.
It's starting to happen every day. People are surprising themselves the moment they realize they can do more with less asthma. Thanks to Dupixent, the add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. Dupixent isn't for sudden breathing problems. It can improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks and help prevent severe asthma attacks. It's not a steroid, but can help reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Don't use if allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor right away about signs of inflamed blood vessels such as rash, shortness of breath, chest pain, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection and before stopping any asthma medicines, including oral steroids. Do more with less asthma.
And welcome back. 16 minutes after 5 o'clock, the founders of Instagram have launched a new website to help track the coronavirus. ABC's Kenneth Moten and what has the details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Instagram's co-founders launch a coronavirus tracker. It's the pair's first product together since leaving the Facebook-owned company. RTLive.com shows how fast the virus is spreading in each state. A group of workers in Southern California is really working remotely. The NASA scientists and engineers are working from their homes and controlling the Curiosity rover on Mars, 140 million miles away. To program the rover, it can take 20 people working together while staying apart. Finally, a new purpose for video conferencing. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says Zoom and other services can now be used to obtain marriage licenses. And it doesn't stop there. Clerks are also allowed to conduct marriage ceremonies remotely. Zoom nuptials, but then honeymoon at home. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great Monday.
All the things we do for love.
2 of my friends have had to postpone their weddings because they want family and all to be there. They don't want to do it virtually like that. But it makes me so sad. And all the kiddos who are missing their graduation, our heart goes out to you.
Tough time.
Yeah. Let's check the roadways. Marcus, any accidents to report?
No accidents yet. We're still looking pretty good out there. So let's take a look. Go from the map over to TransGuide there. You can see 410 at Fredericksburg Road. That's close to that I-10 410 interchange so far. No issues there. We have a few more vehicles out on the roadway traveling in both directions with no problems there at the actual 410 interchange itself. You're looking at I-10 and you can see travel running smoothly right now. All the way up on the northeast side, 410 at Austin Highway. No delays, and 10 at Crossroads there. You can see those connector ramps look pretty good. 281 at Grayson. There's a nice silvery picture, but we're nowhere near Christmas right now.
Although I think Hallmark is showing a new Christmas or a Christmas show every Saturday or Friday, something like that.
You'd be the one to know that more than the rest of us.
me and Katie Blake.
Yeah, so you tell us.
Back to all the missing out on stuff. We just got the box of graduation announcements.
Oh no.
Actually, I saw your wife's post, and she was inquiring, what do we do? Do we just mark out the date?
Or do people realize that this is not going to happen on this date? I think everybody kind of realizes it's not going to happen. So.
But you do still need to send them out because people need to know, because they'll want to give gifts and other things. But it makes me so sad.
It was
kind of
a bittersweet. It's like, oh, here's the graduation announcement, and it's Not going to happen on this date. Anyway, all right. One thing, be happy for, I guess, what we have. Hey, toast to the fact you survived another day of quarantine. So, and enjoy the beautiful day yesterday. Enjoy the beautiful day today. It is kind of cool out there right now. We've got mostly clear skies and temperatures are in the mid to lower 50s, even some mid 40s out there in parts of the hill country. And actually 55 is a little bit below the normal low temperature, which is upper 50s right now. We've got some fairly dry air. Of course, we had all the humidity around here yesterday morning, the fog, the mist, and it was just kind of a yucky sort of a morning. Then all of a sudden everything just cleared on out. Dry air, winds shifted around out of the west primarily, and that pulled in the dry air, which heats up very, very easily. And that's why we warmed up so quickly to the mid-90s yesterday and then cooled off so quickly with this dry air in place. And that's going to remain the case throughout the day. So if you are going to want to kind of sit out this evening and watch the river parade, going to be perfect for it. Beautiful evening tonight. It's going to be nice and warm this afternoon. And then it's going to be a really nice night tonight. Now, as far as the humidity, it's going to stay on the comfortable side throughout the day. But by tomorrow, humidity is going to start to come back up. Dew points move back up into the mid to upper 60s. So you'll feel the humidity. We're going to have more clouds around. Won't be quite as warm, but it'll feel probably every bit as warm. And then the humidity really comes back in here on Wednesday. And that's when we will start to see the chance for some rain. Mostly sunny skies today, maybe 1 or 2 high clouds out there. Some clouds around tomorrow morning. This has a couple little sprinkles around tomorrow morning, possibly. I kind of doubt it though. And then more sunshine mixed in with clouds in the afternoon tomorrow. Then you go into Wednesday, and that's when the rain chances really start to move on in here. And as a matter of fact, by the afternoon, the atmosphere with all that humidity coming back in here, it's going to be much more unstable. And so we do have the marginal risk for a strong to severe storm. Basically the northeastern, I guess you'd call it northeastern third of our area. And then that gets up to a slight chance over toward Gonzales and just on the east side of Austin. That's going to be on Wednesday. In behind that, we're going to be clearing on out. Beautiful, beautiful to wrap up the weekend, or to wrap up the week, pardon me. It's going to be warm, and then the weekend's going to be down just a little bit. 84 degrees today at noon, so we're going to be warming up very quickly this morning, and then we'll top off in the low 90s. Not quite up to yesterday's 94 here in town, but it is going to be on the hot side, way, way above normal temperatures. Tomorrow, still warm, but a lot more humid. A few more clouds around here. Wednesday, chance for some showers, thunderstorms. Some of those could be potentially on the strong side, especially off to the northeast. And then 90s to finish out the work week and school week. And then 80s over the weekend. So good looking weekend.
So I have a question for you,
Yes, sir.
a technical question. You're talking about graduation. So y'all know this because me and technology aren't that close of friends.
That's true.
Has somebody figured out a way yet for like an administrator to get on virtual or on Zoom or whatever and just read the names of the graduates where they could like tune in and at least hear their name
There's
being
some talk
read?
about that.
Somebody's got to come up with some way to do that. somehow.
My wife was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Could it be, kind of and everybody had that, and then
Yeah.
they thought, well, no, the kids actually want to be together. So later on in the summer, perhaps,
sure.
have a live graduation.
But at least they could hear their name being called.
Right.
But that would only work for some schools.
Uh-huh.
Because looking at the very beginning to help out another school, I looked into this, and there is a limit to how many people can be on. And even with Zoom, some of the bigger high schools, like your bigger school districts, not going to happen.
But maybe
they'd have to do it by maybe certain
alphabet.
sections
like
or something.
by alphabet or something, but somebody's going to come up with some way so they can at least have their name announced out there, and at least feel like, hey, I'm a graduate because the principal just said my name.
It breaks my heart.
Yeah,
Those are,
it's sad.
Those are life moments.
Yeah.
That breaks my heart for them.
Hopefully somebody will come up with some way to do that. That'd be kind of fun.
Yep. Time and temp.
It's 5:23 and 55 degrees.
Coming up next, a long-awaited live-action film based on a best-selling novel has a new opening day. We'll tell you about the premiere date.
And Neelik came up with the design and the label.
We
the
all
idea.
did. Listen, enough with the...
We all worked together.
Yes.
Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis have worked with an Oregon winery to produce quarantine wine. All the profits from the Pinot Noir go to groups working to help those affected by the coronavirus. The bottles have an interactive label, space for you to write or draw, the idea being you'll snap a photo to post on social media and spread the word. Info at officialquarantinewine.com. Best-selling writer Michelle Obama is launching a live stream reading aloud to kids. Mondays with Michelle Obama will feature the former U.S. First Lady reading a kitty-lit classic at noon Eastern for children stuck at home. The free live stream begins this Monday and can be found on PBS Kids' Facebook page and YouTube channel, as well as Penguin Random House's Facebook page.
Authorities launched a worldwide manhunt for the famous collector. He is suspected to have been behind some of the biggest robberies ever.
Artemis Fowl was originally slated to debut in theaters last August. Then Disney pushed it to this May and then out of theaters completely once the pandemic hit. Now the long-awaited live-action film based on the best-selling novels has a new opening day on the books. Disney says the film will stream on Disney Plus beginning Friday, June 12th. We'll see if the third release date is the charm. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
So much affected by this thing.
Everything.
Everything. Every aspect of life. 528, 55 degrees.
Still ahead in our next half hour, some Americans want the U.S. to reopen sooner rather than later, but others feel the opposite. We'll take a closer look.
And severe storms brought high wind, hail, power outages to a lot of the country. How people are helping each other pick up the pieces. And welcome back. It is Monday. It is April 20th. Might need to write that down because all these days are starting to just like run together.
I know for a lot of people they certainly are, and the hard part too is we should be in Fiesta this week. We should all be in Fiesta mode, but you can watch the River Parade tonight on KSAT from last year. We're re-airing it at 7 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So get your TV. And like I said, you can always, even if you can't take it outside, just kind of turn it and go out on the balcony.
Make some chicken on a stick.
Chicken on a stick.
Or funnel cake.
Just use your little imagination and you feel like you're right there on the river.
Yeah.
And the weather's
like a good
nice.
plan. Yeah.
Why not, put on your Fiesta wear and put on your medals from last year? We've got our Fiesta wreath on the door, so just get in the spirit for it. Why not? Take your mind off everything. And we've got mostly clear skies right now. It is on the cool side compared to normal. We are about 4 or 5 degrees below normal at 55, 49 Valverde, mid 40s in parts of the hill country. And it's kind of funny to think because yesterday we were up to 94 for high temperature. It was not a record, but boy, it was hot. At least the humidity had dropped down, and that's one of the reasons why it heated up so quickly, and that's one of the reasons why it has cooled down so much, because the dry air doesn't hold the heat in as well. Going to be up to 70 today at noon. We'll already gain about 30 degrees between now and noon, up to 84 and then 92 for a high temperature later on today. So almost as hot as yesterday. Still going to be hot tomorrow, not quite as hot, but we'll have more humidity. Like I said, today's going to be comfortable, and then we do have some rain chances midweek. Take a look ahead to the upcoming weekend in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. Here's Officer Marcus Trujillo. Anything going on yet, sir?
Well, Mike, so far we're off to a great start out there on the roadways. No accidents, so that's the perfect for those that do have to head out. And if you are heading out, don't forget, make sure you grab that mask and take the mask with you for once you exit your vehicle. Actually, as we take a look at the roadways through TransGuide, you can see that 35, 37 here in the downtown vicinity, not too bad. And 35 at Evans north and southbound lanes starting to pick up. We're seeing a lot of tractor trailer traffic coming back to restock all those stores. 35 at 410 so far, no issues there. Leslie?
Thank you very much, Marcus. Well, if you're driving to or near any military bases today, you may want to give yourself a little extra time. There may be some traffic backups due to what they're calling 100% ID checks. Katrina Weber is live outside Joint Base San Antonio Lackland. So how is traffic looking? I know it's early.
Well, it seems to come in waves. Right now, not too bad. Things are moving pretty smoothly here at this gate at Lackland, although we have been able to see the personnel there actually doing the scans that they're talking about. They say that it doesn't appear to be taking very much extra time, but they did announce this Friday. The Joint Base San Antonio made this announcement Friday saying that this would begin today. 100% ID checks means that they will be checking out all of the occupants of every vehicle. They're asking that the driver holds all of those ID cards up to the window. That way they can scan the barcodes. This is to prevent anyone who doesn't belong from entering the base. One of the latest efforts that they are doing to control access, particularly during this pandemic. Now, they began doing health-related screenings a few weeks ago, and we did see some traffic out here. We were out here at the time. Traffic was very well backed up. They also say that that could be the case later today, or at least throughout the day. Usually traffic starts to pick up in about another half hour from now, so we'll be here to watch and see how things go. Reporting live from Joint Base Lackland, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. So when should states reopen? Depends on who you ask. Some, including President Trump, want movement sooner rather than later.
As CNN's John Lawrence report, others, including health officials, say more needs to be done first.
Protests in numerous cities this weekend calling for an end to stay-at-home orders.
Freedom and liberty. We're losing it.
Those measures were put into place as a way to help limit the spread of the coronavirus, which has infected more than 750,000 Americans, according to Johns Hopkins University.
Just by staying home, your actions may have and likely did save lives.
It's also crippled the U.S. economy, with 22 million people filing for unemployment in the past 4 weeks.
It's killing my business. I can't see any of my clients, even though it's a very small amount. And I can't get the assistance that I need. The PPP loan is out, the EIDL loan, I got denied.
But not everyone is ready for things to reopen.
I'm just grateful that Governor DeWine has kept us safe in the actions he's taken so far. And the curve has been flattened in Ohio by the efforts of everybody.
Some health officials and governors say a lot more testing is needed before restrictions are eased.
With all due respect, I think there's anybody who thinks we're doing this just to take away people's liberties and rights isn't looking at the data that we're looking at. We're doing what we're doing to try to save lives.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
People passing down Hopkins Street in San Marcos can easily see fallen Officer Justin Putnam's patrol car. It's adorned with remembrances and rose petals of the officers who were shot Saturday. Putnam had the longest tenure on patrol with the San Marcos Police Department. This is the second line of duty death for the San Marcos Police Department. Meanwhile, 27-year-old Officer Franco Stewart and 38-year-old Justin Mueller are both in critical condition. The San Marcos Police Department says those looking to help out or donate should keep an eye on the police department's Facebook page for the latest information.
Investors will get a look into the books of the S&P 500 this week. Nearly a fifth of the companies listed are expected to report earnings, and that is shining a light on the impact of the coronavirus shutdowns. Several airlines and tech companies like Intel and IBM will be showing their numbers. Coca-Cola also among those reporting.
It's 5:37 and a cool 55 degrees.
Still ahead as more people stay home, they're bringing home new furry companions as well. More on the surge of pet adoptions.
And also coming up next, severe weather threatening parts of the southeastern portion of the U.S. More on what areas should see hail and possibly tornadoes coming their way.
And live cam giving us a look outside. A little bit cool this morning, but plenty of sunshine in the forecast for this afternoon.
And welcome back. 20 minutes away from 6 o'clock. Parts of the South are on storm watch right now.
Flash flooding and possible tornadoes are creating life-threatening situations in Alabama and Mississippi. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi has the latest.
Overnight, dangerous storms sweeping the South. In Mississippi, emergency crews worked into the morning, rescuing drivers trapped in windshield-deep floodwaters. While in Alabama,
the road is just completely washed out.
Torrential rains made some streets completely impassable.
I mean, that's pavement down there.
This comes after a day of treacherous weather in the area.
I darted in the house to grab everybody and make sure we were safe.
Heavy winds bringing down trees, smashing trucks, even ripped the roof right off of this firehouse.
We are in the middle of trying to secure the building as much as we can.
Those powerful storms seen from above on Sunday afternoon, rolling out of Louisiana, straight into Mississippi, where the high winds created chaos on the highways.
The man who was driving this truck lost control of the 18-wheeler. He was traveling along Interstate 55, and the entire truck fell 25 feet onto the road below.
Luckily, that driver escaped unharmed. Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, New York.
Wow.
Mississippi's been getting pounded this spring.
And I mean,
so
in the middle of all this pandemic stuff, too,
Yeah.
I just hate that they're having to deal with even more.
541, 55 degrees.
Up next, more on why the number of pet adoptions is going up across the country.
$543. Now, according to new numbers, there are a lot of new furry friends at homes right now, bringing some much-needed comfort to families all across the country.
The Spreesters have a little one.
Yeah.
What's the name of theirs? Do you remember?
saw it the other
Me
day.
too.
I don't know.
Then, I don't know. I'll figure it out. As ABC's Tom Yamas reports, it's because the COVID-19 quarantine has lots of people looking for companionship.
You're watching workers at the Palm Beach County Animal Care and Control Shelter cheering because for the first time ever, going all the way back to 1969, an entire section of dog kennels is empty. Some positive rays breaking through all those coronavirus clouds. Pet adoptions are soaring. Around the country, happy dogs and their new owners getting to know each other. In Plano, Texas, the Cabeza family with 3-month-old Coco sending us this message today.
We thought that during the stay-at-home requirements, it was a good time to help her become a good member of our family.
UPenn senior Alexandra Sharp from Central Michigan fostering 1-year-old Opal. She decided to foster during this global pandemic to give dogs some needed extra affection and love.
I really loved having Opal. She's so sweet, so cute, so fun. I feel like she brings a lot of joy to the house during a time, that's really difficult for everyone. So fostering has been awesome. And honestly, now I think I want to adopt her.
In Milwaukee, Emmy with her new family, the Luomas. The Wisconsin Humane Society telling us today 580 of their animals have been adopted since March, including these 3 lab mix puppies.
Good morning.
They just got adopted by 3 thrilled families. Just look at Kevin today with his new owners, while his brother Duncan cuddling up with the Gilbert family. For so many aching hearts, a new type of medicine, 4 legs and endless energy, the perfect prescription.
Oh, so sweet.
Did
And
you find the
Finn?
name? Finn.
It is Finn.
Finn. Some
He's a
positives coming from the coronavirus. Hey, oil futures are falling again. At one point, futures for the U.S. benchmark, West Texas Intermediate, going as low as $14 a barrel. Last time it was that low was back in March of 1999. Storage facilities for oil are filling up. Demand has been dropping with the stay-at-home orders in effect.
Neiman Marcus could file for bankruptcy as soon as this week. That's what sources are now telling Reuters. The retailer skipped millions of dollars in debt payments last week. All of its locations around the country have been closed down by the pandemic.
And the closures may also take a slice out of soda production as well as beer. Both use carbon dioxide to give drinks their fizz, but the ethanol producers that capture carbon dioxide as a byproduct have cut back on production, putting CO2 supplies at risk.
Time magazine shines a light on one of the heroes of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's not a group of doctors or scientists, but rather cafeteria workers who help make sure hungry children are fed. A couple of workers in Dallas are becoming the face of the frontline workers as they help keep poor children from going hungry while schools are closed. Time magazine is producing 5 covers honoring the heroes of the pandemic.
So many people deserve recognition for what they're doing to help through this mess.
That's very true, including our first responders like Officer Marcus Trujillo over there.
Well, I have it easy. It's early morning, not too much traffic out there. Most folks are abiding by the stay home, work safe. So the guys answering the phone call, the calls for service out there, and all the EMS techs answering their calls, those guys really have it on the front lines. Right now, as we take a look at the roadways, not too bad out there. You can see that the roadways still look pretty good. However, still we're seeing a few more vehicles out there closer to the airport. 221 north and southbound lanes there by Grayson, no problems there. And we get one more camera shot. There we go. Tenant Crossroads, slight increases in traffic, but right now, no delays in anyone's travel times.
Can use a little jacket this morning.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I mean, we went from 94 yesterday down in the mid 50s or even low 50s and 40s in some areas, and then it's heating right back up again. You know what's good to do?
What?
Fire up the grill.
Yes.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Oh, okay.
Chicken wings and hot dogs. Does it get any better than that? Oh, that's going to be some good eating.
What time is lunch ready?
I was going to say.
That looks like a pre-game or a pre-parade meal right there.
There you
go.
No, during parade meal.
Or during
you do the wings during it. You know, as each float goes down the river, have another wing.
I like that.
Just made that up. But anyway, if you have doggy bags, please drop them. We'll be happy to help you out there. But thanks very much for the KSAT Connect picture. It looked delicious. We have got mostly clear skies right now. You can see a couple of stars out there. And temperatures, they are on the cool side compared to normal. And light jacket's a pretty good idea. 44 Kerrville, Comfort, 49 in Bulverde, 55 out there at the airport. Normal low is in the upper 50s. And of course, we did hit 94 yesterday. And so we've cooled off very quickly. And that's because we've got some dry air. All of a sudden yesterday, we had the mist and drizzle and humid conditions in the morning and all that fog. And then the wind shifted around and pulled in the dry air and scoured the atmosphere out. And that's why things heated up very quickly, because it heats up more easily with dry air and then cools down very easily. And so that's why with this dry air and these dew points down in the 30s, we get those big swings in temperatures. And it's going to be the same situation again today. We're going to gain almost 40 degrees in most locations. A little bit of high level moisture out there, so maybe a milky shade to the sky. A couple of high clouds today, but still a very nice day and good day to fire up that grill again later on this afternoon, this evening. 52 for a dew point later on at noon. So we're still going to keep fairly low dew points around here throughout most of the day. Obviously, the humidity is going to start to move in to the coastal plain, but that'll make it comfortable for most everybody today. But then by tomorrow, the humidity, dew point temperatures start to go up. And so therefore, you're definitely going to feel it. It won't be quite as hot on the thermometer, but it'll feel every bit as hot with these numbers getting up into the upper 60s and 70s for dew points. So 87 is going to feel like a low 90s again tomorrow, but that's sticky. And then Wednesday, we have a lot more humidity around here, and that's going to make the atmosphere that much more unstable. And so therefore, we do have a few more showers around on Wednesday and maybe even some strong to potentially severe thunderstorms. Nothing going on today. Tomorrow, I think we start off with some clouds, then see more sunshine in the afternoon. And then Wednesday, here comes the rain. This is in the morning. And then we'll have thunderstorms later on. The marginal risk for the northeastern, about a third of our viewing area. And then that gets bumped up to a slight risk for extreme northeastern counties. It does include, it looks like, the fringes of Austin, maybe in and around Gonzales and further up to the northeast. And so that's the marginal to slight risk for a strong to potentially severe thunderstorm. Now, as far as upper level steering winds, here's the little disturbance that moves through right there on Wednesday, giving us that chance for a couple of showers, thunderstorms. Then in behind that, we clear on out. A lot of sunshine then all the way through the weekend, but hot temperatures. But we do have another front too. 84 degrees today at noon, mostly sunny skies. So we heat up a lot this morning, and then 92 for a high temperature. Plenty of sunshine, wind shifting around to the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. 87 tomorrow. But it's going to feel every bit as warm because of the humidity increasing. Showers, even a couple of stronger thunderstorms on Wednesday. 90s Thursday, Friday. Low 80s by the weekend. In behind yet another front that moves through here.
All over the place again.
Toasty week, though.
A variety.
Kind of, sort of, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks. It is 5:52 and 55 degrees.
Since many proms have been canceled this year, some Hollywood actors are helping out by hosting virtual proms. More on that coming up next.
And here's some lottery numbers from the weekend. Pick 3, 4, 3, 0, Fireball of 2, and Daily 4, 4, 9, 7, 1, Fireball of 3.
And your cash 5, 15, 24, 26, 27, 30. Lotto 4, 19, 35, 42, 47, 54, and Powerball from Saturday 4, 44, 46, 56, 63, 19 was your Powerball and a power play of 2.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the COVID-19 showdown. Protesters taking to the streets, fighting stay-at-home orders while the number of coronavirus cases and lives lost keeps rising. We're going to talk to Dr. Anthony Fauci live about what he says about reopening the country. It's all happening right here on GMA.
Sergio Di Mello, the world's Mr. Fix-It.
All right, everyone. Let's get together.
Most powerful official in UN history.
Now the question is, what to do with all that power?
Sergio tells the story of the diplomat and negotiator who waded into the world's most unstable regions.
Sergio, for me, was always an optimist. He saw the world in all of its complexity, and he tried to find real-world, practical solutions to very difficult problems.
The film is framed by his risky trip to Baghdad just after the U.S. invasion of Iraq.
It's now more clear to me than ever why we're here, and why I asked you, my colleagues, my friends, to join me on this mission, and why this mission requires the very best of the United Nations Diplomatic Corps.
Wagner Moura, perhaps best known as Pablo Escobar on TV's Narcos, dove into learning about DeMello.
So I try to feed myself of all this information for at some point in order to then forget about all of that and to create my own version of surgery.
He was a man, I think, who saw the world more clearly than most, and probably saw more war and human suffering than anybody of his generation, yet remained full of optimism and empathy.
We have to face the Iraqi people openly as ourselves, as United Nations, because this is who we are. And this is what we do best.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The Office star John Krasinski hosted a virtual prom for 2020 seniors over the weekend. Man, he got a little help from the Jonas Brothers and Billie Eilish with the music. Seniors across the country participated from their own homes. Krasinski called the event the SGN Prom. The name comes from a web series he's using to cheer up people during the pandemic called Some Good News. All right, still ahead in our next hour, research shows chronic stress and trauma can be highly toxic to a child's health. We've got what you can do to protect your kids coming up. And another look at some of the roads. Not a lot of traffic on a Monday morning during this pandemic. Officer Hill's got your update on that. Mike's got your forecast. We got more news coming up in the next hour of GMSA. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This morning, the face mask mandate goes into effect here in Bexar County. Good morning, I'm Max Massey. What you need to know if you plan to leave your home today.
The first step towards reopening the state taking place today. Governor Greg Abbott ordered all of the state parks open to the public.
And taking a look outside with live cam. Boy, it got warm yesterday, but we have a nice cool start to your Monday morning. The sun will warm us up again today, though. Mike has your details.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning. It is Monday, April 20th.
Thanks for being with us this morning. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Some details. Your phone is talking to us. It wants to give us details about something. Do share. Details about what, David? What were you?
No idea. You know me in technology.
Oh, you don't have Siri?
I don't know what she's saying. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, Mike, how's it going over there? Go ahead. She still wants to talk. Good morning. What's your? You don't have Siri. What's your name? Do you have a name for yours?
I don't know who
Gladys.
she is.
We'll go with Gladys. I don't know. Anyway, it was very hot yesterday. Nice start this morning. We've gone from 94 yesterday all the way down into the 50s and even 40s around here. We're at 54 right now, so we've lost 40 degrees from yesterday's high temperature, and it's because the dry air moved on in here. Heated up quickly, and then it cools down easily with the dry air. 45 Comfort, 46 up the road toward Bernie Stage. And throughout the rest of today, it's going to warm up very quickly this morning. We're going to gain about 30 degrees between now and noon, getting up into the mid 80s. Then we'll top off. Probably not quite as warm as yesterday, but right in the ballpark, getting up into the low 90s. Plenty of sunshine out there, a few high clouds, maybe that milky shade to the sky. Humidity is going to be comfortable today. Then it's going to start to come back into the picture tomorrow. Then we have some rain chances by midweek and maybe a couple of strong storms. We'll get that all sorted out and see what's in store for then the rest of the week. Time saver traffic right now. Here's Officer Marcus Trujillo.
Yours just went off too. So.
Yours went off too, Leslie?
Silent. So, I can say, "Hey Siri." She hears me, but you shouldn't be able to hear her.
So. I had a lot of time this weekend with all this, and so there's a how-to book for dummies on how to hack phones. Anyway, as we take a look at the roadways, things look pretty good this week right now. So no problems here. 21 at Grace, north and southbound lanes running smoothly. And just kidding, folks, I did not do that this time. 410 at Austin Highway up on the northeast side, no problems. And I-10 at Callahan, travel there eastbound and westbound, still looking great. David and Leslie?
I thank Officer Trio. Appreciate it. As Bexar County officially has more than 1,000 confirmed cases of the coronavirus, the face mask mandate goes into effect this morning.
Max Massey joins us live downtown. So what are the details about the new rule, Max?
Good morning, guys. Well, if you are over the age of 10 years old, you're going to want to need one of these, a face mask. But remember, this is not a replacement for social distancing. If you are out and about later today, or if you do have to leave your home, make sure to stay at least 6 feet away from other people. So let's take a look at the details, what you need to know this morning. Now, Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolf and Mayor Ron Nirenberg say that face masks should be worn when social distancing is not even a possibility. The city says businesses also had until this morning to provide personal protective equipment and training for appropriate use for their employees. Now, anyone violating any part of the city or county ordinance could face a civil penalty of up to $1,000. Now, Mayor Ron Nirenberg says that the mayor's office is also asking people not to wear surgical masks or N95 respirators since they are needed resources for healthcare providers and first responders. The public is able to use homemade cloth masks, scarves, bandanas, or handkerchiefs as face covers as long as they cover your mouth and your nose. Important to mention, guys, the city still says that we have not reached the peak of the confirmed cases of the coronavirus here in Bexar County, and we should expect a peak by the end of April or even into mid-May. David, Leslie.
All right, thank you very much, Max. As we mentioned, happening today, state parks across Texas will reopen. It's one of the first steps being taken to open everything back up after certain measures were taken to prevent the spread of the virus. Some health experts think opening parks at the start of spring could cause more people to come into contact with one another and allow the virus to spread more easily. Experts recommend everyone continue to social distance and wear that face mask while in the parks.
Meanwhile, the total number of coronavirus cases eclipsed 1,000. Mayor Ron Nirenberg says there are 1,015 cases in Bexar County and 39 deaths. That's an increase of 33 cases in one day. Officials also say that nearly half of the deaths, 18 so far, are related to the Southeast Nursing Home and Rehabilitation Center where an outbreak occurred. So far, 296 people have recovered.
BCSO officials are working to trace the origins of a coronavirus outbreak in the county jail. 5 additional inmates reported testing positive, bringing the total to 20. Officials say the inmates were moved to the infirmary for medical observation. In addition to the inmates, they say 21 members of the staff also tested positive. We will have an update on the latest numbers of cases in Bexar County, including the situation at the county jail, this evening during the mayor's press conference.
And Metro Health is saying there are enough tests for anyone experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 in Bexar County. However, local leaders are still saying the federal government needs to help provide more widespread testing in the region. Judge Nelson Wolf says the county is far behind on testing because it cannot check everyone to see who is asymptomatic. Local leaders say it's necessary to test more to see the extent of which COVID-19 has spread throughout the community.
Small businesses are struggling to get loans because the Paycheck Protection Program is rejecting them to support larger businesses. Small business owners say that they cannot get a loan to pay employees or fill any orders they may have to keep them in business. Some restaurant chains such as Shake Shack and Fiesta Restaurant Group, the owner of Taco Cabana, received $10 million. We're reporting up to $100 million of cash on hand.
And speaking of businesses, President Donald Trump and Congress could agree on a deal to help get billions of dollars in loans to those who need it most.
It comes as social distancing measures take a toll on businesses. ABC's Andrea Fujii has details.
I'm worried about my people.
America's businesses are taking a big hit, many about to close for good.
The money's out and I've got to shutter my business.
The government's rescue loan fund, the Paycheck Protection Program, maxed out days ago, but help could be coming. The Trump administration asking Congress to approve an additional $250 billion. This bipartisan deal would include funding for small business loans, plus billions more for hospitals, disaster loans, and COVID-19 testing. The latest report shows 5.2 million Americans filed for unemployment for the first time just last week. That brings the total to more than 20 million people who've applied for unemployment amid the pandemic.
Some economists that I've been speaking with say that our national unemployment could go as high as 13% by July.
And the downturn has hit all sectors of the economy. High-end retailer Neiman Marcus preparing to file for bankruptcy, while Macy's, JCPenney, and Nordstrom are scrambling to avoid the same fate. But Walmart looking to hire 50,000 more employees on top of the 150,000 they just hired. And other stores are adapting to the crisis. Some Whole Foods in New York City and Baltimore are now open for only online orders to speed up grocery deliveries and prevent shoppers from packing into the aisles. One industry group claims 85% of grocery store customers are not practicing social distancing in the stores.
That was ABC's Andrea Fujii reporting. Investors will get a look into the books of the large number of companies over the S&P 500 this week. Nearly a fifth of the companies listed will report earnings, shining a light on the impact of the coronavirus shutdowns. Coca-Cola, several airlines, and tech companies like Intel and IBM are all among those reporting.
Dallas-based luxury department store chain Neiman Marcus could file for bankruptcy as soon as this week. That's what sources are now telling Reuters. The retailer skipped millions of dollars in debt payments last week. All of its locations around the country have been closed due to the pandemic.
The closures may also take a slice out of soda and beer production. Both use carbon dioxide to give drinks their fizz, but the ethanol producers that capture carbon dioxide as a byproduct have cut back on production, putting CO2 supplies at risk.
Driving from point A to point B keeps getting easier on your wallet. Gas prices keep dropping, mainly due to the COVID-19 pandemic. AAA reports the average price for a gallon of regular gasoline nearly $1.82. That's more than $1 less than last year. In some states, prices at the pump are under $1 per gallon. Here in San Antonio, Gas Buddy shows the average is $1.46. with the lowest price reported at $1.19. Analysts say the cost of crude oil hasn't been this low since 2002, and they predict the cost of gas is going to keep dropping.
New this morning, one man is in the hospital after he was shot while on the west side. Police say it happened about 2 o'clock this morning in the 100 block of San Nicolas Street. That is a couple of blocks from Sarah King Elementary School. An SAPD sergeant says a witness heard shots and saw a gray Mazda leave the scene. The man who was shot was taken to University Hospital with life-threatening injuries, but police say he didn't answer any questions related to the case.
It is now 10 after 6, 6:10, 54 degrees.
The pandemic has caused some couples to cancel their wedding, but to make up for the loss, the beer company is offering a year's worth of free brews.
And today is the first day KSAT will air one of last year's Fiesta parades. See how you can celebrate with us coming up after the break.
And taking you back outside with live cam. It's going to be a beautiful sunrise today. We're tracking your forecast and the roadways.
You do have a chance to ignite that Fiesta spirit today.
This evening, KSAT will show you last year's Texas Cavaliers River Parade, and your Fiesta spirit can help local organizations too. During the rebroadcast, we will highlight local charities and collect donations for them. We will also have virtual watch parties where you can join some of us you see every day. You can catch the Cavaliers Parade tonight at 7 right here on KSAT 12, and of course we'll be streaming it on KSAT.com or on our streaming devices on your television sets. To find out when we'll air the other parades, just go to our website and search Fiesta.
Arthur.
Richards. Why wait for it to come down when you can get that high up? He plays over the crossbar.
MacArthur grad Josh Richards represented San Antonio FC in the knockout stage of the USL's E-Cup tournament. His first opponent was Phoenix Rising FC on Thursday night. Richards played well, securing a 3-game sweep with a final scoring margin of 33-3. Great showing in the opening round, and he advances to play Charleston Battery on Wednesday night at 7. It's all a part of the league-wide video game tournament that concludes this Friday. And if you are looking for the best sports coverage here on San Antonio, be sure to watch Instant Replay. They give a complete picture of what's happening locally, along with statewide and nationally. Even when sports leagues are taking a break, you can watch it every Sunday, 11 o'clock, right here on KSAT 12. You can also follow the whole team on social media. I love the virtual stuff, but I'm getting tired of the virtual stuff. I want to see some real sports.
You're not alone with that. Everybody's ready
stuff.
to see some real stuff. And in the draft this week?
In what?
The draft is this week, isn't it? The NFL
yeah,
draft?
the NFL draft. Yeah, the commissioner's going to be like announcing the names from his basement. It's like
no. Everybody has to deal with this. It just is what it is.
Yeah, that's on ABC and ESPN and the NFL Network. So Yeah.
At least it's some sports. It's something new,
At least it's
not just
something.
reruns,
Yeah,
right?
go with
Let's
that.
find out how the traffic situation is shaping up for you.
Well, we do have an accident affecting one of the highways, well, rather the entrance ramp to a highway from the area there around the zoo. So East Mulberry, that entrance ramp to northbound 281, that's where we have an accident right now on the ramp. So hopefully we'll get that cleared up fairly quickly. Let's take a look outside. I-10 and Crossroads, still no problems for the eastbound or the westbound lanes. I-10 Days of Olive, a little bit further out. You can see more than enough room out there. Roads are dry, visibility not too bad. Just watch that speed once you head out and make sure that you cover up.
Yep. Take lots of pictures when you get all in the Fiesta mode for this week.
Okay.
So we can show those,
Yeah.
send them in, KSAT Connect, and I don't have to show pictures of this thing behind me, which gives me the woolies. Just
What
looking at
is it?
Oh,
I don't know.
It's,
I know
it's like not a caterpillar, but it's one of those things. Those things are like
Are those the poisonous ones?
No.
nasty. Is that the poison one?
I don't know.
It's a caterpillar for
There's
looking for a place to make a cocoon.
There are some around our house that are like poisonous. You
Yeah.
step on them or you touch them and they like
they
sting. And
they
like,
do have.
But with everybody
venom,
staying home,
Yeah.
there's less activity, so the animals are getting a little bit braver, and the bugs included.
They're starting to come back out. But anyway, yeah, send your Fiesta pictures in. Get all Fiesta-fied. We're going to be doing it here.
Fiesta-fied, I like that.
Fiesta-fied, yeah. Is that yes, it is, the glow of the sunrise. And look what we got going on here. A little bit of a sliver of a moon right there. And a couple of the stars, maybe even some planets. Gorgeous, gorgeous picture. 54 degrees right now in town. 46 up the road toward Bernie Comfort, and 53 in Castroville. Temperatures are actually on the below normal side. A light jacket's not a bad idea, and you sure won't need it later on this afternoon. We've got very dry air. Dry air came in yesterday, and that's why after all the fog and mist and just kind of yuck in the morning yesterday, we cleared out, and it was very comfortable. It got very hot, though, up to 94 degrees. We will have a few high clouds around today, or maybe that milky shade of the sky today, with some of this moisture aloft, but still it's going to be a beautiful day, and the humidity is going to be on the comfortable side as well. So dew points will remain below 60, which is where you want to see them. It may kind of creep up a little bit, but still, like I said, it's going to be a comfortable day, and that with the low humidity this morning and this afternoon is really going to allow temperatures to heat back up. So we'll make it back up into the low 90s later on today. Tomorrow, we do have a lot more humidity around here. We'll start off with some clouds, keep more clouds around throughout the day, and that's going to prevent us from getting as hot. We'll still be in the upper 80s tomorrow, and then Wednesday, the humidity really comes back into the picture. That's going to help out with some rain on Wednesday. Today, really nothing going on. Clouds tomorrow morning. There could be a little sprinkle here or there. Kind of doubtful, and then more sunshine throughout the day tomorrow. But then Wednesday, all the moisture comes back in, and that's when we get our chance for some rain and some potentially strong or severe thunderstorms. Storm Prediction Center has the northeastern third of our viewing area under the marginal risk. Then that gets up the notch to the slight risk, but that's almost out of our viewing area, well up there to the northeast, and that's for high winds and hail. Isolated tornadoes are possible, but not very likely. And as far as speaking of severe weather, of course, we had some potentially severe weather and some stronger storms Saturday night into Sunday. That whole system worked its way off to the east, and they were getting hit overnight in the deep south. They've been getting hit quite a bit this spring there in the deep south. And for us, notice everything's almost moving straight west to east. That's a zonal pattern, as we call it, and that keeps temperatures, well, in our case, a little bit above normal, but you don't get any real big swings in the temperatures as far as too hot, too cold, and that's going to be the situation in the next few days. 92 degrees this afternoon, plenty of sunshine out there, and then once we get into tomorrow, it's going to be a lot more humid, so we'll be up into the upper 80s, but it's going to feel like the low 90s with all that humidity out there. It's Wednesday, showers, a couple of stronger thunderstorms, maybe potentially severe thunderstorm, 85 degrees, back to the 90s to finish off the work week and school week, but then down to the 80s for the weekend.
It's just all over the place.
Just about.
Kind of like this weekend.
Yeah, but
Saturday cool, yesterday.
Get in the Fiesta mode this week.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
Right. And y'all, SA Live has a special Fiesta-themed show before, right?
Yeah, we're going to be Fiesta most of the week. We're going to be actually outside kind of Fiestaing it up, and that's hard to say. And then we do have a pre-show before the Battle of Flowers parade on Friday from 1 to 2. All
awesome.
Fiesta. Yep.
Thank you, Mike.
Fiesta-ing up. Sounds like a party to me. 621, 54.
With a purpose.
With a
Party with purpose. Well, this morning, Facebook will reveal its newest way to help fight against the pandemic. That's coming up in your GMA First Look.
Here's your secret word of the day. Enter it on KSAT.com/Circle K for a monthly chance to win free gas for a year. Every entry wins a hot dog or kolache. We are Circle K.
When you're confident in your gut, you feel confident to take on anything. With Benefiber, you'll feel the power of gut health confidence every day. Benefiber is a 100% natural prebiotic fiber.
Good morning, Mrs. Jonathan!
Benefiber. Trust your gut.
Hi, Grandma!
At Macy's, we know at times like these, even small things can make a big difference. So we're extending this special offer of an extra 30% off and free shipping on orders of $25 or more. Now at Macy's.com.
Now Simparica Trio simplifies protection. Ticks and fleas? See ya.
Heartworm disease? No way.
Simparica Trio is the first chewable that delivers all this protection. And Simparica Trio is demonstrated safe for puppies. It's simple. Go with Simparica Trio. This drug class has been associated with neurologic adverse reactions, including seizures. Used with caution in dogs with a history of these disorders. Protect him with all your heart. Simparica Trio.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an ABC News exclusive, George Stephanopoulos one-on-one with Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg.
So how do you deal with the fact that Facebook is now being used to organize a lot of these protests to defy social distancing and defy the social distancing guidelines in states? Does somebody trying to organize something like that, does that qualify as harmful information because it's saying defy social distancing?
We do classify that as harmful misinformation, and we take that down. At the same time, it's important that people can debate policies, can basically give their opinions on different things. So there's a line on this. But
we'll have much more of this ABC News exclusive coming up at 7 a.m. Plus, a live interview with Dr. Anthony Fauci. With your GMA First Look, I'm Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
Instagram's co-founders launched a coronavirus tracker. It's the pair's first product together since leaving the Facebook-owned company. The website, rtlive.com, shows how fast the virus is spreading in each state.
Busch Beer offering a year's supply of free beer to couples who had to change wedding plans due to the pandemic. The company plans to select 250 winners using a social media sweepstakes. All you have to do is enter by posting a photo of you and your fiance on Twitter with the hashtag Busch Wedding Gift and Sweepstakes. Busch says couples should also share their revised plans for a wedding celebration.
It's a good idea.
I like that, Busch.
I do too. Your time now 6:26 and 54 degrees.
Rules are changing at military bases around San Antonio. See why they are expected to be traffic delays if you need to get on base today.
And if you are heading out to get groceries today, don't forget to put on that mask. We're going to break down the new order in place for the county.
If you've got them, show them. That's what the local military is saying about identification cards. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. I'll tell you about a new ID enforcement in effect today.
If you're over the age of 10 years old, you're going to need one of these today, a face mask. Good morning, I'm Max Massey. I'll have all the details on the Facemask Mandate that you need to know.
Lawmakers say they are in the final stages of a deal that could mean hundreds of billions of dollars for small businesses. I'm Alex Pache in Washington. I'll have details coming up.
And outside,
Look at your television, everybody.
That's a good way to start a Monday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right there.
You can't really see it in that picture, but behind Mike, you can see the moon, a sliver of the moon in the background. It's really beautiful. It feels nice outside.
Yeah, it does.
How's construction? Is it all picked up yet?
Construction's no problem, but we do have an accident near the zoo, but it's on the entrance ramp to northbound 281 from Mulberry, so not really affecting the main lanes at this point.
That's good news.
Yeah, very hot yesterday. Got up to 94 degrees after all the mist and drizzle and fog in the morning. And with the dry air, things heated up quickly and then cooled off quickly. And here you can see that nice little sliver of the moon, and maybe still you can see a couple of the stars and I think the planets as well out there, but obviously sun is coming up and there's some moisture aloft in the atmosphere, a couple of clouds there along the horizon. So we're going to have lots of sunshine today, maybe that milky shade of the sky, but a good looking day. We are at 54 degrees right now, 45 Bernie Stage, Comfort at 45 as well, same thing in Kerrville. So temperatures are actually a little bit below normal. Light jacket's not a bad idea, but you sure won't need it later on this afternoon because we're going to be back up into the low 90s later on, plenty of sunshine. And temperatures, normal high is right around 80, so we are definitely on the above normal side. More clouds tomorrow, more humidity, upper 80s, but it's definitely going to be feeling like it and then some with more humidity around here. And the humidity continues to come up, and that's going to set the stage for some showers, thunderstorms, even a couple of stronger, potentially severe storms Wednesday, especially up to the northeast. And then in behind that will be hot to finish up the week. Then cooler by the weekend. Weekend looks very nice. This whole weekend looks, or the whole week looks pretty good, but it is definitely going to be on the warm side of things. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. So you said that one accident's right there, not on the main highway, right?
Not on the main lanes, but on the entrance ramp to northbound 281. So if you're in that area around the zoo, you use that Mulberry entrance ramp to continue on northbound 281. A little bit of a delay there. We should get it wrapped up here shortly and get everyone off that ramp and clear that ramp for use once again. Let's take a look at a couple of TransGuide cameras there. 1604 Culebra, starting to see some folks headed eastbound on 151, 10 at Hildebrand, north and south, or east and westbound lanes. So far, no problems there all the way through I-10 at Crossroads. So as the sun begins to come up, don't forget, along with that mask, make sure you take your sunglasses to cut down on the glare. David and Leslie.
Thank you, sir. Monday morning may come with a few extra headaches for drivers who are near any of our local military bases.
Oh, that's true. Traffic could be backed up a bit more than usual as a new ID check goes into effect. Katrina Weber is live outside Joint Base San Antonio Lackland, and you said this applies to everyone in every car.
That's right. That's where they're calling it the 100% ID checks. Now, the military says that this could mean longer wait times at the gates at all of their bases. But take a look at what's going on here at JBSA Lackland. Not too bad at all. And this has been throughout the morning. It actually seems lighter than usual. Now, Joint Base San Antonio made this announcement Friday that this would begin today. They require, again, everyone in every vehicle to show ID at the gates. The driver is asked to hold up all of the ID cards or licenses to the window so that their barcodes can be scanned. We could actually see them doing it from this point where we are right now. This is the latest effort to control who enters the bases, particularly in the middle of this coronavirus pandemic. A few weeks ago, they began doing some other types of screenings here at the gates, and at that time there was some significant traffic backups. But again, this morning things not looking too bad, but just keep in mind that this extra enforcement is being done at all of the bases in our area. Reporting live near JBSA Lackland, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Well, also starting this morning, everyone 10 years or older will be required to wear a mask and cover their face with something. Max Massey joins us live downtown. Individuals have a responsibility to our community, Max, but you say businesses do as well.
That's right. Businesses had until this morning to provide their employees with face masks if they had jobs that required them to be close to coworkers or close to the public. So let's take a look at this face mask mandate and what we know as of this morning. Now, the mayor and Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolf asking the public to use cloth masks, scarves, bandana, or handkerchiefs as face coverings as long as they cover your mouth and your nose. Now, the more heavy-duty masks like the N95 mask or surgical masks should be reserved for medical professionals and those who have to fight the disease up close and personal. Here's the thing, guys. Anyone violating any part of the city or county ordinance could face a penalty of up to $1,000. But there are exceptions to the rule. They include exercise, driving, or being with a household member or eating and drinking. Now remember, the mayor also emphasized even if you're wearing a mask like this, it does not replace social distancing. So if you are out and about, do your best to stay at least 6 feet away from other people. David, Leslie.
Thank you, Max. Federal lawmakers are signaling that a deal on a new emergency funding plan may be just days away.
That would bring hundreds of billions of dollars in relief to small businesses and hospitals. ABC's Alex Prochet has more from Washington.
That bill could be agreed to as early as today and approved as early as midweek. And so many small businesses are dependent on it. This morning, lawmakers signaling they're closing in on a deal for the next round of economic relief.
And I'm very hopeful we could come to an agreement tonight or early tomorrow morning.
I think we're getting close to a deal.
This bipartisanship deal would include roughly $300 billion in funding for small business loans, $75 billion for hospitals, and billions more for disaster loans and COVID-19 testing. But some small businesses are running out of time. The government's Paycheck Protection Program dried up days ago. Also new, President Trump now invoking the Defense Production Act, directing a company to increase production of swabs, a key component for coronavirus testing, and testing something critical for his reopening guidelines.
This is what it's about, right?
Health officials and governors say widespread testing has been hampered by a lack of supplies. The president claims testing nationwide has now reached the level needed for a partial reopening. Officials in 12 states tell ABC News they're confident they can begin reopening in some form by May 1st. The rest say that's either too soon or they wouldn't give a target date. And many governors are pushing back against the president's claim about testing capacity. Over the weekend, Vice President Pence announced that the country has conducted about 4 million tests so far, with about 150,000 more tests each day. But a new report from Harvard says we need to be conducting 20 million daily tests in order to reopen the economy. Alex Prochet, ABC News, Washington.
Turkey has officially passed China in its number of recorded coronavirus cases. With more than 86,000 confirmed cases, it has risen to the 7th most infected country. Nearly 4,000 cases were confirmed in the last 24 hours, and its death toll stands at around 2,000.
This morning, Canada is recovering from its deadliest mass shooting in the country's history. Canadian officials say a man dressed as a police officer shot and killed 16 people. The Canadian Mounted Police told people already at home because of the coronavirus lockdown to go to their basements and lock their doors. Police say they found the shooter dead, and the investigation continues.
And parts of the South are on storm watch right now as flash flooding and possible tornadoes create life-threatening situations in Alabama and Mississippi. ABC's Mona Kozar-Abdi has the latest for us.
Overnight, dangerous storms sweeping the South. In Mississippi, emergency crews worked into the morning, rescuing drivers trapped in windshield-deep floodwaters. While in Alabama,
the road is just completely washed out.
Torrential rains made some streets completely impassable.
I mean, that's pavement down there.
This comes after a day of treacherous weather in the area.
I darted in the house to grab everybody and make sure we were safe.
Heavy winds bringing down trees, smashing trucks, even ripped the roof right off of this firehouse.
We are in the middle of trying to secure the building as much as we can.
Those powerful storms seen from above on Sunday afternoon, rolling out of Louisiana, straight into Mississippi, where the high winds created chaos on the highways.
The man who was driving this truck lost control of the 18-wheeler. He was traveling along Interstate 55, and the entire truck fell 25 feet onto the road below.
Luckily, that driver escaped unharmed. Mona Kozar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
639, 54 chilly degrees.
Research shows chronic stress and trauma can be highly toxic to a child's health. After the break, we have what you can do to protect your child.
It is a pretty startling number. Nearly half of the kids in the U.S. experience one or more types of childhood trauma by the time they're 17.
Trauma can get under the skin and make kids more susceptible to illness. RJ Marquez has details on what can buffer kids against those negative effects.
What impact can trauma and chronic stress have on a child's health?
My brother drowned and died when I was little.
Arguments between my mom and my dad.
I could see in his eyes that he wanted to do me harm.
Developmental scientist Melissa Bright looked at surveys from nearly 100,000 parents with kids under age 17. The parents were asked if their children were exposed to any adverse childhood experiences.
Things like, did you have a parent go to prison, witnessing domestic violence, parental divorce, mental illness?
They were also asked if their child had any physical, mental, or developmental conditions, such as asthma, vision problems, depression, ADHD, or learning disabilities. Bright found kids who had just one adverse experience were 2 times more likely to have had at least one physical and at least one mental condition.
Having 3 experiences was associated with almost a 6 times increase in likelihood of having at least one physical, at least one mental, and one developmental condition together.
But Bright says positive interactions and relationships can protect kids' brains against the negative impact of these adverse experiences. Things such as face-to-face interactions, being responsive, and cuddling can have a positive influence.
Having one really important positive adult in a child's life can make all the difference.
Experts say not all stress is bad, and some stress can teach kids skills to deal with difficult situations. RJ Marcus, KSAT 12 News.
It's 6:44, it's 54 degrees, and the traffic is
hopefully light.
There you go.
Marcus?
Not too bad out there right now. As we take a look at the map, you can see no incidents out there. So we're on the highways. So the highway's pretty clear. I-10 La Cantera, no problem. I-10 at the Y here in the downtown vicinity. No, things are looking pretty good. They've restriped that turn last week, try to make it a little bit easier for people to see. You have to slow down before you make that turn. 35 and 37 traveling both directions, north and southbound 35 running great. No problems there all the way through 35 at Evans. So all in all, not too bad. We're starting to see more traffic out there. However, it's not as busy as it was last week, which begs the question, where was everybody going last week? As we take a look at the airport area there, 281 410, you can see the connector ramps look pretty good. Starting to get a little bit of a line there, but no congestion on those connector ramps. Down below, eastbound and westbound lanes of 410 running smoothly.
Good news there.
And you mentioned the airport, and that's another weird thing is you drive by the airport, and there's no planes flying in or flying out. It's just very strange to see nothing.
Yeah, one or two, you look up and that's it.
I have a trip scheduled for the end of May for a bachelorette party for a friend of mine. Who knows if it's going to happen, right? But they've already canceled the flight and changed me to, it was a nonstop and made it to a connecting flight. So you can tell they're already looking in the future, making a lot of changes.
Yeah, who knows when it's going to be somewhat normal.
Oh, I can't wait for that day.
Anyway, just look at this picture and forget about everything if you can. What a beautiful, beautiful view. Okay, sunshine delivered. Yes, indeed, there was plenty of it yesterday, and that really helped to heat things up. Mold is on the moderate side, pardon me. At 5:30, that's the only thing that showed up yesterday. What a beautiful, beautiful sunrise. Sun's going to be coming up just after 7 o'clock this morning. A couple of high clouds out there as well, and temperatures are actually on the cool side of normal. So we started off with all the mist and drizzle. Dry air came in here. Temperatures skyrocketed to 94 thanks to the dry air, and now cooled down very, very quickly. And then they're going to warm up very quickly again throughout the morning. And that's the reason, because these dew points are down in the 40s and 30s. And we've got a little bit, as you saw, some of those clouds out there, a little bit of a milky shade to the sky later on today, some moisture aloft in the atmosphere. The dew point temperatures will remain comfortable, therefore humidity is going to remain fairly comfortable throughout most areas. There'll be a little bit more off to the east later on today. And then tomorrow, humidity really starts to work back in here, and then especially going into Wednesday. So as far as tomorrow, not as hot temperature-wise, but it's going to feel every bit as hot. Wednesday, with all that extra humidity, that's going to kind of set the stage for potentially some stronger, even severe storms later on in the afternoon. We'll have a few showers around during the morning hours. A lot of clouds tomorrow morning, then sunshine in the afternoon mixed in with the clouds. And then here comes the rain on Wednesday. And this is what I was talking about with the Storm Prediction Center. Has the marginal risk for a strong or severe storm in the northeastern, about a third of our viewing area. And that gets up a little bit more the further north and east you go. And high winds and hail are going to be the biggest threats with that. So we had those storms Saturday night into Sunday. Now we've got the drier air in place, but that whole system worked its way off to the east, and they were putting up with some of those stronger storms earlier this morning, and still looks like some over there in the it looks like the Carolinas and Virginia, some of those stronger cells, but most of that has worked its way off the Atlantic Ocean. As far as our forecast, overall, we're going to be staying on the hot side this week. So we'll be up to 84 degrees at noon, already above the normal high, and then a high temperature today up to 92, so almost where we were yesterday with plenty of sunshine out there. Tomorrow, 87. But it's going to be a humid 87. And then on Wednesday, we have showers and even a couple of thunderstorms, potentially a few stronger ones later on in the day. And then Thursday, Friday, clear out, lots of sunshine. But again, it stays on the hot side up to 90 and even low 90s, but then back down to 80 by the weekend.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, good looking weekend. Good looking week, too.
Good looking end of the week. Perfect. Great. Thanks, Mike. It's 6:48, 54 degrees.
Working out for 30 minutes several times a week has many benefits, but it doesn't always need to be weightlifting at a gym. Join us tomorrow on GMSA where we look at ways to rethink your workout.
And outside with live cam, once again, going to be a great night for the parade. So, open up your doors and go outside and turn your TV on. If you can't take the TV outside, then leave the TV inside. You just got to sit outside and get that fiesta feel as we rebroadcast last year's Cavaliers.
Viva Fiesta!
Yeah, 7 o'clock on KSAT 12 tonight.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the COVID-19 showdown. Protesters taking to the streets, fighting stay-at-home orders while the number of coronavirus cases and lives lost keeps rising. We're going to talk to Dr. Anthony Fauci live about what he says about reopening the country. It's all happening right here on GMA.
ID cards and patience. Those are two must-haves from all military bases in San Antonio this morning. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. Joint Base San Antonio has announced it's doing what it calls 100% ID checks, and it says that could mean delays at the gates. Now, this is what has been happening here at Lackland. Things not too bad, traffic moving pretty smoothly. Now, what is happening is they are checking the IDs of everyone in every car. They're asking drivers to hold all of those ID cards up to the window so that they can scan the barcodes. This is another measure to control who enters the base during this coronavirus pandemic. A few weeks ago when they started doing medical screenings, it had traffic stacked up here at Lackland for about a quarter mile. But again, this morning, things not looking too badly here, but keep in mind that this is in effect at all bases in our area. Reporting from Lackland, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
The face mask mandate goes into effect here in Bexar County today. So that means if you are over the age of 10 years old, you need one of these, a face mask. Good morning, I'm Max Massey. Here are the details and what you need to know if you plan to leave your house today. First and foremost, the public are asked to use homemade cloth masks like scarves, bandanas, or handkerchiefs as face coverings, as long as they cover your mouth and your nose. The mayor's office is asking people not to wear surgical masks or N95 respirators because they are needed resources for healthcare providers and first responders. The city also says that businesses had until this morning to provide personal protective equipment and training for appropriate use for their employees. And anyone violating any part of the city or county ordinance could face a civil penalty of up to $1,000. And remember, wearing a face mask does not replace social distancing. So if you are out and about, do your best to stay at least 6 feet away from other people. Reporting downtown, Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
And you've got a chance to get fired up for Fiesta tonight.
This evening, KSAT will show last year's Texas Cavaliers River Parade, and your Fiesta spirit can help local organizations too. During the rebroadcast, we will highlight local charities and collect donations for them. We'll also have virtual watch parties where you can join some of us that you see every day.
You can catch the Cavaliers River Parade tonight at 7 o'clock here on KSAT 12 on KSAT.com or streaming on live on KSAT TV. Well, it's not streaming on KSAT TV. It's just live on KSAT TV, right?
It's streaming online, and it's also will be airing on
it's
KSAT
rebroadcast.
TV.
So there you go. So the other parades are going to be Friday and Saturday, right?
You can find the full schedule on KSAT.com as well. Let's take a look at the roadways.
Well, right now the highway is still looking pretty good. There's Highway 151 at 1604. You can see entrance ramp to eastbound Highway 151. More than enough room out there. Not too bad there, 35, 37 here in the downtown vicinity. We go to the opposite side of downtown, I-10 at Frio there, and you can see that inbound and outbound lanes are running smoothly. Mike?
Thank you, sir. And take a look outside live cam. Notice how it's, well, beautiful start this morning. It is a little bit on the cool side. Some high clouds out there. We'll keep a lot of those around throughout the day. 55 degrees in town, mid 40s in the hill country, and then a big warm up throughout the day. We'll make it up to 84 at noon, 92 for a high temperature today. And it's got some showers and thunderstorms. More humidity tomorrow. Rain Wednesday, 90s to finish out the week, and then 80s for the weekend.
All right, thank you, Mike, and thank you so much for being with us, everybody.
We'll see you back here for Good Morning San Antonio at 9. GMA is next. Have a great Monday.